many things that makes America great are its small towns. And some of these small towns have some great names. My quest is to travel to many of these small towns across the United States to talk to the local residents to find out what makes these towns tick. When I arrive in these small towns, I obviously want to talk to the mayor, but who I really want to talk to, if I can find him, is the town's oldest living resident. I also want to go to the barber shop, the diner, the coffee shop, the post office. I want to talk to the school teachers and really understand what it's like to grow up and live in a town with a really quirky, goofy name. So sit back and relax as our small town adventure, I guarantee you, takes us to places you've probably heard of but have never been to. So Normal, Illinois, Disappointment, Kentucky, Can-Do, South Dakota, Hot Coffee, Mississippi, and Boring, Oregon, here we come. We've just driven 120 miles this morning to find some great names and some great stories about what it's like living in Embarrass, Wisconsin. I just stopped at the local hairdresser and she wouldn't talk to us. I think she's embarrassed. Everybody I've talked to said, if you want to hear some great stories, go down to the local feed mill. We are at the local feed mill and nobody will talk to me. I think they're embarrassed. Hello. What's it like living in Embarrass? Are you embarrassed to talk to me? Hello? Hello? This is getting embarrassing. If you really think about it, would you expect the scoreboard to read anything other than 0 to 0? We've made it to the post office here in Embarrass, Wisconsin, and we're going to talk to some of the local people and find out how embarrassing it is to live in Embarrass. What was it like when you told people you were from a town named Embarrass?
It never bothered me too much, probably some people more, but I think maybe you're embarrassed more than
the local residents. When you travel and you told people you were from Embarrass, did they find that interesting, humorous, made it easy to remember who you were and where you were from?
Well, I remember a guy, when I was in service, he says, well, write your letter. I says, well, just put down Embarrass. Embarrass, Wisconsin.
The history is, it's French for River of Many Snags.
River of Many Snags,
or
okay.
Impediments they call it, or snags.
Yeah, impediments, yeah.
And that's where it got its name, because they used to float logs down the river here. There was a big sawmill right down here by the bridge. You hear a lot of those wise remarks, you know, are you embarrassed and all that's baloney.
Well, I'd like to hear some of those remarks. So obviously people would say, well, is it embarrassing being from Embarrass? And what would you find yourself saying?
Not a bit.
Not a bit.
I was proud of it. This picture is kind of interesting, I think. It's amazing. I guess I know more of these people than anyone in town today. But this was done this is November 2nd, 1920. Looks like one. It says opening of the Clintonville Embarrass Road. And this fellow had the garage, which is now Noak's garage. He had the tavern, or the hotel. And this is a fellow that used to own the feed mill years ago. My grandfather, he had the tavern, which is now Course Bar. This was a farmer. Well, I know a lot of these people yet. And you notice all the people are dressed in there, all hats and coats, and you don't see that anymore either, you know. People just don't dress up like that. Well, a group of us from the Embarrass area went up to Cecil to a dance, because we understood that's where all the young girls were at the time, and another fellow from Clintonville and I cut in on two people dancing. He married the gal that he cut in on, and I married the gal I cut in on, and another one of our friends married another one of their friends. So they kind of wiped out Embarrass all in one night.
Hello from Embarrass, Wisconsin.
My name's Darrell Paulzine. I'm fire chief for the village of Embarrass, and I have been for 31 years.
I'm Joanne Paulzine. I'm clerk treasurer of the village of Embarrass and have been for, this is my 26th year.
Where did the word Embarrass come from for the town?
Well, there's a fictitious story, and then there's another one. Do you want to hear my version?
Tell us both.
Well, I've heard this from an old guy. He said that many years ago, I mean, and we're talking 1800s, there was an Indian hunting party coming down the river by canoes. And they got down past where the fire station is now, and there was another Indian settlement there, and the women were out bathing and washing clothes, And as they come around the corner, of course, here was these Indian ladies, and one said to the other one, "Embarrass." So that's the way I like the story to go.
The name of Embarrass, I actually never knew growing up, or the actual way it got its name, but the Embarrass River is very shallow, so you can see the bottom of the river. The settlers or the Native Americans or whoever it was would always tell people that the river was embarrassed, that you could see its bottom, so that's how it got its name. So I think when I tell people that I'm from Embarrass, it's usually a look of confusion, or one that I might be making that up, that's not really where I'm from, or maybe they misheard me or something. But then it always starts a conversation, so it's actually a really good thing, because then I can tell them, where it actually is and how many people live there and that kind of stuff. So growing up in Embarrass is great. I mean, as kids it was like we were outside from sunup to sunset, and it was like having 400 different sets of parents, because everyone knew who we were and we couldn't get into too much trouble because we knew that they would call our parents as soon as we did. So it was really great growing up there. My name is Alicia Schertz, and no, I am not embarrassed to be from Embarrass, Wisconsin.
We've had a great morning already here in Embarrass, Wisconsin. And while we're in the Midwest, we're going to hit the road one more time and head over to Embarrass, Minnesota to find out, is it equally embarrassing living in Embarrass, Minnesota?